Sometimes the problem is you, and the only way to fix the problem is through understanding what's really going on inside of you. For some reason, it's really hard for people to understand that this is their life and they are in complete control of everything. It's easier to pretend like you are not in control, to blame other people, society, your parents, your teachers, your boss, your friends. It's easier because it's not your fault, it's their fault. But like this, you're just giving away your power. You become weak. People don't want you to learn that you are in power, that you are in control, and that this is your life, and no one can tell you anything different. I love to think about life as a movie, okay? You are the protagonist, you are the actor, you are the director, you are the producer, you are everything of your movie. And you can decide exactly how the movie is gonna go. That's simply called manifestation. The problem is that people think that manifesting is just, I want $1,000, I want a new car. They don't realize that manifesting is every single thing happening to you. You manifested it. Your thoughts, your action, honestly, positive or negative, you manifested it. And when something bad happens, of course you're gonna blame someone else. You're gonna blame the universe, you're gonna blame God, you're gonna blame whoever was involved in that problem. But again, sometimes the problem is just you. Not what happened, not other people, just you. If you're still stuck on whatever happened in the past, then that's on you. You can't wait for someone to come and rescue you because people are too selfish for that. They might want to help you, but after a while, you become a burden if you are only relying on other people. The only person you should rely on is yourself. If you're still stuck on something that happened in the past and you're still, living your life based on that specific event, and that event becomes your entire personality, then you are the problem. Your purpose here is to learn, and best lessons come from difficult times. And if you still blame, and if you still are the victim of that thing that happened to you, then that's just you ignoring growth. I know that this might be a bit harsh. There was something that happened to me when I was like 12. And I developed abandonment issues. I started feeling like nobody wanted me and things like that. And when I was 18 is that I realized that that was a problem. And then what I did my shadow work. I learned, I analyzed that event, and then I healed and grew from that. I'm now better because I learned from that thing. I'm not being the victim. I'm not sitting here being like, oh, nobody wants me, like I'm gonna be alone forever, people just come and go because I'm not good enough for them to stay. I'm not doing like that. I learned, I grew. Hi guys, welcome to this video. I'm Shanti, and today I'm going to tell you how to fix your problems. When you blame other things or when things feel too much, realize that you are in control. This is not a burden. This is good because you are in control all the time. And I want you to realize this, so I'm making this little video for you to understand how to call back your power and be in control of any type of situation that happened to you and will happen to you in the future. Because this is your life. And remember, you are in control, and that is a power. It's not something negative. It's something that you should be aware of and use at your advantage, okay? The first thing is that you need to learn how to think. Many times you might find yourself thinking about negative things about yourself or about your life. Remember that your thoughts are literally what then is going to transform into an action, into a behavior that you're going to have with other people. So your thoughts are your entire reality. Your brain does not distinguish what's in the 3D and what's going on in your imagination. What you visualize, what you think is literally the main thing that your brain perceives. And thanks to that, you can manifest things. But if you're just doing that passively and you are always thinking about stuff negatively or constantly having self-negative talk, that's what you're gonna manifest. You're gonna be stuck, you're gonna be miserable, you're gonna feel like things are just not working out for you. You might even think that life is going against you. So learn how to think. If something negative happened to you, don't think of it as something negative that happened to you. Think of it as a stepping stone towards becoming your highest and better self. I know that some things are really painful, some things are really hard to get over. You should not focus on how long it's going to take you to heal. You should focus on just healing. That's all you need to focus on. You need to focus on the fact that you can learn from that and you can grow and you can become better. You're going to come out of it much better. But if you keep postponing, I love this metaphor of the watermelon. I don't know if you ever heard it, but basically, let's say that you buy a watermelon, you put it on the counter in your beautiful clean kitchen, and then you turn around and the watermelon rolls and falls on the floor. It smashes and it's like a mess and you're too lazy to clean it up. So you leave it there, you go out, you do whatever you gotta do, then you come home, it's still there, but you're tired, so you go to sleep, you don't clean it, you wake up in the morning and it's still there, and you keep procrastinating cleaning it. After a while, when you feel like, okay, maybe it's time to clean it, you do clean it, but the stench of the rotting watermelon is still there. It doesn't matter how much you clean it, the smell is stuck to your curtains, to the couch, and it's everything, it's everywhere. Now the house is clean, but the smell is still there. So that's exactly what happens. Imagine the watermelon being your trauma. The more you ignore it, the worse it's going to be later. So the sooner you clean up your trauma, the sooner you do your healing and your shadow work, the faster it's going to be. So from now on, I want you to think about your problem as an opportunity to grow. This might not be easy, but it's necessary if you want to be better. Trust your words. What you say is basically law. As I said, your words create your reality. When you talk, you should be intentional. For example, sometimes I'm hanging around with someone and they're just kidding and be like, oh, like I'm so poor, like I'm gonna lose all of my money, or I'm never gonna get that job. I'm like, why are you saying that? You're literally manifesting it. Never say that. But when you say something positive, like I'm gonna get that job, I'm going to heal, I'm going to be better, you need to believe that. How? Take some time to just sit there, and you need to put in your head that you are 100% in control of your life, and your words are law. If you're lazy, it's bad. I know sometimes it's easier to be lazy, especially nowadays. Like, we're so used to doing nothing and laying in bed and scrolling through TikTok. But you know what? If you're lazy, you're still gonna be stuck. You're gonna be stuck, honestly. It doesn't matter how hard you think. If you don't put the action behind it, it's never gonna happen. Words are what create reality, but you live in a physical world. So if you don't put action after your thoughts, you're never gonna get anything. Stop reacting and start acting. You can't expect things to happen to you if you're sitting in your house doing nothing. You're literally just sitting there and you're become like this, you're slowly fading to your bed. You can pretend to heal or be better or have a better life, becoming your highest self. Like, you can't expect that to happen if you're just there waiting, like if you're living your life to see what other people's life is like. It's so sad because now we are always watching celebrities living the best life and like, oh, I wish I was like them. Okay, you wish that? Why are you still in bed? Why are you doing nothing to become like them? Start acting. Take responsibility, okay? Because it doesn't matter what happened in your life, you're always in control. Because maybe someone cheated on you. You cannot be in control of the other person's action, but what you are in control is how much those actions can affect you. So if you're crying and desperate after months of being cheated on, that's on you. That's your fault. Take responsibility for feeling that bad. Because if you're feeling bad, that means that you're still like stuck to that person. Move on. Start acting. Stop waiting for someone to come and rescue you. You're responsible for what you do and how you react to things, how you take things, how deeply you get affected by things. Sometimes you just can't avoid like really feeling things for something, and that's just part of being human. But there's always a limit. There should be a moment in which you realize, damn, like I'm exaggerating. Am I going to waste my entire life because of that thing that happened to me? It's in the past. When things are in the past, you should leave them in the past. After you do your little healing, just move on. And again, it might not be easy, but easy things teach you nothing. Hard things make you the baddest person alive. It happened to me, and I'm still healing. I'm still working on my traumas. I'm still working on becoming the best version of myself. And patience is another thing. I'm a very impatient person. I want things immediately, and that does not work because you cannot rush healing. You cannot rush success. You can't fit like years of healing into one only year. Mind you, that little thing that happened to me when I was 12, I'm still dealing with that. And I'm working on it. I'm much better now. But if I didn't start back when I was 18, now I would be starting from zero. And my life would suck. I will probably still be depressed because I would still blame myself for something that I had no control over. But what I do have control on is how I react and how much I let that thing affect me. I'm a new person. I'm much better thanks to that because I learned from that. And honestly, people seek other people for saving them. But you know what? No one can save you. So you should become your best friend. I am my first best friend. No one will ever understand me like I understand myself. Sometimes I want to go to people for advices like I used to go for back in the days. I used to always go to people and be like, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should choose? But then I was like, they don't get me. Why every time they tell me what to do, I'm like, why did you pick that one and not the other thing? People don't understand you. The only person that can understand you is yourself. So if you ignore how you feel, how you are, who you are, how can you expect to get rid of your problems when you don't even know who you are? Part of having issues from the past traumas is understanding who you became thanks to those things. And not always is something negative. Like if you think that you became worse because of those things, then you're doing something wrong. Because you can learn from everything. You can become better from anything, honestly. When you have a best friend and you get to know them, you will see their negative traits more positive than a stranger. Okay, you have a best friend and maybe a random person might look at them and be like, oh my gosh, that person is like so rude. But then you look at them and you're like, wow, they're so nice because you love them. And that's what you should do with yourself. If you don't know yourself, you can't love yourself. You should become comfortable with every part of yourself, the positive and the negative, the part that suffered and the part that felt as much joy as possible. The worst thing is that something bad happened to you that you cannot control. You might feel like everyone sees you as you see yourself. So it's very important that you see yourself as the most beautiful and the most confident and the best person alive, because only that way you can feel confident. And lastly, embrace discomfort, guys. If you stay in your comfort zone, you're always gonna be stuck in your problems. Always. You need a little bit of discomfort in life. You need a little bit of stress, a little bit of anxiety. Sometimes it's needed, okay? Because you can't grow unless you are feeling something. Trust me, I'm still struggling with this last step. Things are not as complicated as you might think. The problem is that no one teaches you all of this. No one teaches you that you are in control, that you have the power. So when you think that you are in control, when you start believing this, it feels so complicated. It feels like you now have all of these things to deal with. You might start feeling like you really are the problem. It's gonna be very stressful. Get out of your comfort zone, even if it's just like doing something like little, but do something. You are not in control of what happened to you. You are not in control of what's going to happen to you. What you are in control is what's going inside of you. How you view things, how you feel about things, how much you let things affect you. That is what you are in control of. You are powerful, but you can't feel the power unless you do some work. It's a blessing having all of this power. So take the power and create the best version that you could possibly be. And trust me, you will be the best version. Just do everything that I told you. You are literally a goddess walking on this earth. I just need you to believe that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.